Good morning, 8th grade. Ms. Storr said that you guys had a hard time yesterday with the videos on Khan Academy, so I wanted to go ahead and just do a quick video for you and kind of show you just how simple it really is. In your table of contents, go ahead and put today's date, which is the 4th, I believe, and put functions, non-functions. Okay, sorry. I'm not sure what page I'm on. We will update that on Monday, okay? All right. You have a green foldable right here, but what I want to do is take a few notes before we actually put that in, okay? We are getting into linear functions. This is when we have a relationship between an x and a y, and usually we have a rule, and we briefly went over that last year. But this year, we need to understand what a function actually is. So bear with me as I draw this little function machine. Okay, I am at home, and I'm so sorry. This video, my Dewey stand doesn't work. All right, function or non-function? That's the question. So think about, I want you to draw a little machine here. And come down, maybe go down just a little bit. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a place. It doesn't have to look exactly like this. Okay, this is my function machine. So when we are talking about functions, we have an input and an output. So the input is going to be my x. The output is going to be my y. Okay, the x is always your independent variable. You can always freeze the screen if you are behind. And y is dependent. Okay, so when we are talking about linear functions, we talk about a rule. Okay, so for example, if I said, last year we had y equals, let's say 2x plus 1. That means that for any value of x that I put in that, I can only get one output. I can't get a different number. So for example, if I choose the number 1 for x equals 2 plus 1, so y equals 3. What that means, if x is 1, can I get a different answer? No. Okay, so that's all it means, is that for every for every rule or function, for every one input, you can only get one output. Okay, easier said than done. We can look at it in so on here, we might be given ordered pairs. We might be given a map. We might be given a graph, and we're going to go over each one of those, okay? But I wanted to show you an example of what if you had 3 squared. What does that mean? 3 times 3 equals 9. Can I put a different x, though, and get the same result? A negative times a negative is always positive. So what you have here is I have a different input, but I can get the same output. There is a difference. Okay? You simply cannot, this is a function, all right? But I cannot, for example, have 3. Let's go ahead and put one down. If, let's say I had 3 and I had 3, the same input, I cannot get a different output. That is not a function. Okay? And we're going to look at some examples. All you have to do this year is recognize if it is a function or if it is not. And we're only going to spend 2 days on this. Okay? So Ms. Kolsky has a way to remember this. You never date your x twice. Okay, and I'll show you an easy way to remember that. So get out your green. You're going to glue on the blank, and you're going to put that in your journal and then fold it up. And we're going to look at some examples here. I would hold off on gluing until the very end. Okay? Okay. All right. So basically, it gives you a rule. A function is a rule that relates two quantities so that each input value corresponds to actually exactly one output. Okay, so let's look at a couple different examples. Let's start with tables. If you notice, does my x repeat? Nope, that is a function. All right, look at here. If you notice, I have the same x, but I have two different outputs. That is not a function. That is all we have to learn, okay? It's recognizing whether it's a function or not a function from a table, ordered pairs, mapping, or a graph. So let's look at all of these. All right, look at this. Is this a function? All I'm gonna do is there a repeat of my x? -2, -1, 0, 1, 3. That is a function. Here I have -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Is that a function? Yes. Okay. Let's look at the mappings. On a mapping, you have to be careful. Put in a table. And there's a reason, because the way they look, if you notice, this 5 right here is actually repeating. It goes to a 2 and it goes to a 7. So I'm going to make this bigger right here. Okay. So the 2 is with the 4. The 3 is an 8. 4 is an 8. 5 is a 4. Now remember what we said. I can have a repeat in my y, but my x cannot repeat. I cannot get two different values, okay, for the same x. So this is actually a function. Now if you notice here, I have 4 goes to my 7, 5 goes to 2, but it also goes to an 8. So if you notice, when you first look at a map, it looks like the 5 is not repeating, but when I put it in the table, you can see that it repeats. This is not a function, okay? Now the easiest one of all, remember that you did a table, mapping, ordered pairs, and the last one is the graph. So we call this the vertical line test, okay? If the vertical line intersects a graph at more than one point, it is not a function. So if you notice, I'm going to take my pencil, I create a vertical line here, and if it hits, this is my function line. We're not talking about the axes, we're not talking about the x or y. Does it hit my pencil in more than one spot? No. So this is a function. If you notice, on the other one, it hits here and hits here. Why is this not a function? Because if I look at this point right here, let's say that I did this. Look at this point. It is 4 and 2, and here I have 4, but I also have a -2. And we said you cannot have the same x and two different outputs. So this is not a function, okay? Fairly simple. My apologies for the videos yesterday. I bet you Khan Academy went way too far in depth. But what I want you to accomplish, and I'm looking for the sheets. Okay, here it is. What you're going to do today is tell me, is it a function or is it not a function from a table, ordered pairs, a graph, mapping? Be sure to put these in a table, okay? Just kind of a way that you can't go wrong. And because this is really just so simple, because all you're doing is, does your x repeat? So you should be able to finish all of this probably in about 20 minutes. So knowing that, I'm going to put a quizzes and I'm going to give you the code. Please go by your class. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you on Monday and going to greet you with a test. Nope, not 8th grade. My bad. That's for algebra and 7th grade. So 8th grade, look forward to having a lesson on Monday. See you then.